So, hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and today I'm gonna take another look at my GTX 480, which has received a major cooling upgrade. Well, actually not that major in terms of how well it cools, because the stock heatsink that was on here previously had a fan that was hard locked to 100%, which actually made the rather hot running stock heatsink perform pretty decently. So this right here is my Arctic Accelero Extreme Plus. This is a more or less special version and also pretty old version of the Arctic Accelero custom GPU cooler. And yeah, so the thing is, this GPU base plate right here does only fit NVIDIA cards with the IHS, so like the Fermi cards and the Tesla cards. And also it had a couple of fins over here that would collide with cards that have two DVI connectors stacked on top of it. So I forcefully removed the fins from that area, which you can kind of see here. There's some left there. So yeah, this cooler right here, I just had this laying around for a while. And the reason why I didn't use it on the 480 yet, because actually I haven't deleted this card yet. This card is not deleted yet. The reason why I haven't used it yet is because the VRM on this card would get very, very hot, and I am not trusting it to not die just from the bit of airflow it gets from the heatsink, because those fans actually do not really spin that fast. So the performance from this heatsink, like, it's still a custom GPU heatsink, it performs pretty well, but like the fans could be better. And yeah. And so what I did now is I removed the base plate for the 480. Like you can see, there's still the original base plate on here. So it fits this custom heatsink right here. So yeah, with the base plate on, I still get the VRM cooling and the VRAM cooling for the card, while being able to use this custom heatsink right here. And yeah, so this is how I run the card currently. On the back you can see some things that I did to it. Yeah, like these are two power bridges that I did a while back, and there were more mods on there before, which you can see from the solar blob right here, and from the completely destroyed core, back of the core. Like many of these modular ceramics are damaged or missing entirely, which is because I tried to pull off mods, and yeah, it was pretty destructive. So yeah, I originally was planning to do some more power bridges than these, but I think I'm just gonna put capacitors on this thing and keep it at these two power bridges. Which, like, these are two, wow, what are these, 18 gauge cables? Yeah, these should be 18 gauge. Like, these should give me maybe 10 millivolts or 5. Like, it's a small performance increase. Yeah, but so what I had to do to get the VRM the custom heatsink on here to fit is, so there was a cover over the PCI Express power connectors right here. That one was actually pretty easy to take care of, because it was a plastic piece that was just screwed into this aluminum, I presume it's aluminum, might be steel, base plate. So remove those screws, remove the plastic piece, and now the cooler can fit right here, because you can see there's not a lot of space there. And then the second problem was actually, yeah, I think I'm gonna just remove the heatsink and show you directly, because this is gonna be pretty hard to describe. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna use another screwdriver for this. Yeah, this would be pretty hard to describe otherwise, and I would have to insert a lot of pictures, and then, yeah, I think I'm just gonna show it live. Oops. I use a lot of mounting pressure here. Yeah, so The issue was that originally the heatsink would not fit because there would be things in the way of it. I'm gonna show you that right. I'm removing the heatsink. Ah, yeah, so gotta take the fan out. So, so there was a couple things. There was one metal piece right here that sticked up a little bit that would collide with this mounting plate. Actually, all of the things that I needed to take care of would collide with this mounting plate right here. Because actually, if you look at it, this matches exactly the space that's right here. Like exactly, like less than a, like to the millimeter. There is practically. So I had to do a cut right there. So yeah, what I was talking about is this mounting plate fits this cutout perfectly. Like there's less than a millimeter clearance. And yeah, so there were a couple of things in the way. Like actually this thing didn't actually this thing right here didn't collide with the mounting plate, it collided with this thing right here. And then there were other things, like you can see here. Those were screw holes for the shroud. I broke those off with pliers pretty unceremoniously, which is what looks so bad. And then there were standoffs where the screw holes are. And yeah, so the standoffs from a heatsink would actually fit inside them, but the heatsink would not reach the GPU. There would be about 2 millimeters of clearance between the GPU and the the cooling plate, so there wouldn't be any contact. So what I did is I went into the workshop and I took a metal drill bit and just drilled those standoffs down. You can still kind of see it here where I drilled into it. So yeah, I drilled those away, and now, as you can see by the shape of the thermal paste that is left on here, now this heatsink actually makes proper contact, and I get all the cooling from this base plate. And this base plate, it gets very, very hot. It gets so hot you can't touch it. You will probably burn yourself if you touch it for long enough. So yeah, this custom cooler now fits the GTX 480, and with this extra cooling, it will probably improve VRAM overclocking, because I saw my GTX 580 is like I have one 580 with VRM cooling and one without, and the one without clocks much worse for memory. And then when I managed to cool the memory a lot on the card that overclocks worse, it actually clocked better. So memory cooling on this seems to be very important. And all of my Fermi cards are Samsung. So yeah, this is the same memory IC type. So I guess from the extra cooling, I'm going to see a couple extra megahertz. And then of course I also get the VRM cooling, which yeah, is gonna prevent it from blowing up because of overheating. And it might even be enough cooling for me to BIOS hack the card to give it more voltage, because the voltage is not that great. So 1.138 volts is the max for this card, which, yeah, I would like more. And like I could do a BIOS hack, I could also just volt mod the card, and I think I'm gonna volt mod it actually. Like I actually do have a guide to do this, even though like I could find out by myself because I have a data sheet and I know how to do volt mods. And yeah, so GTX 480, massively upgraded cooling. Well, it would be massively upgraded cooling if the fan wouldn't be hard locked to 100%, because I think it actually span a lot faster than it would allow you to by setting the fan speed in software, because like this fan was so damn loud, it span so fast the card would start to vibrate. And it was very, very, it was literally as loud as a vacuum. And yeah, So with the fan spinning so fast, this card actually ran at 65 degrees under load. And with this heatsink, it runs about at 63. So the actual cooling improvement is not that great, but the improvement in noise is night and day, because this heatsink with running the fans 100%, you can hear it if you're trying to, but you can't hear it if you're not concentrating on the noise that it makes. So it's very, very silent now, and it's even cooling a bit better. So yeah, this was a nice mod. And yeah, I think I'm gonna keep using the card like this. So I just made a different video. Like I'm filming these videos back to back. I just made another video about the GTX 560 Ti 448 that also I use this heatsink for. So I might move it between those two cards, but like I also said in that video that I just ordered another one of these, and actually a new version, not the Plus, but the Extreme 4, which does have a universal mounting plate and not this Fermi IHS card only mounting plate. So yeah, I could run the card like not this one because the mounting plate would be in the way, the base plate would be in the way, but like the 560 Ti 448, I could run that without the IHS, and I could also use that heatsink for other cards. Whereas this only works with cards that have an IHS and like this specific mounting hole spacing, whereas the new version that I got has different mounting spacing options for different cards. So yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, this is actually a pretty short video. Like it's just did some modifications to the base plate of the card to fit the heatsink, and it's working. Like it's working better than before. I actually haven't checked for overclocking headroom because I did so much stuff today and I didn't really feel like stress testing the card for a couple hours because it's like in the evening already, and I want to do other things too, not just stress testing and modding cards all day. Like at some point it gets exhausting, and I did a lot today, so yeah, not doing that today. I think I will do a video once I properly overclock this card to its max. We'll probably have a vault mod by then. Maybe even a memory vault mod, and yeah, so. But for today, I have. And yeah, before the video gets too long again, I'm gonna end it here. So thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, bye.